I liked Roddenberry's original plan for Geordi, but I'm glad Star Trek: The Next Generation changed LaForge's role. When Star Trek: The Next Generation premiered in 1987, audiences were introduced to a brand new crew meant to carry on the spirit of Captain Kirk and Spock. Among them was Geordi LaForge, played by LeVar Burton, a character who immediately stood out thanks to his visor, a sleek piece of futuristic technology that allowed him to see the electromagnetic spectrum despite being blind from birth. But while LaForge eventually became one of the show's most dependable and brilliant characters, his original purpose in Gene Roddenberry's vision was very different. And honestly, I kind of love the original plan. It shows how Roddenberry wanted to push the boundaries of science fiction, exploring new types of characters that hadn't been seen before on TV. Yet at the same time, I'm incredibly thankful that TNG evolved past his first idea, because the changes gave us the Geordi who became the beating heart of the Enterprise D. Roddenberry's original vision. Originally, Roddenberry envisioned Geordi LaForge as the Enterprise's helmsman, a role similar to what Sulu had on the original series. He was meant to be a capable officer, but not one of the core players. His blindness and visor were his main defining characteristics, a science-fictional twist meant to highlight humanity's ability to overcome physical limitations through technology. That version of Geordi is compelling in its own way. The idea of a blind pilot navigating a starship is incredibly Star Trek, a powerful metaphor for trust in technology and in oneself. It emphasizes that disability doesn't mean inability. And it could have been an inspiring message, especially in the late 1980s when representation for disabled characters on television was almost non-existent. But the problem with this vision is that it didn't go far enough. Had Geordi remained the helmsman, he might have ended up as just another background figure like Sulu or Chekhov often were in the original series. He would have been defined by his blindness rather than by his personality, ingenuity, and relationships. Thankfully, the producers recognized that Geordi deserved more. The shift to chief engineer. By season 2, Geordi was moved from the helm to engineering, becoming the Enterprise's chief engineer, a role that allowed him to thrive. Suddenly, he wasn't just the guy flying the ship. He was the one keeping it running, solving impossible problems week after week, and working hand in hand with Data to push the limits of Federation technology. This shift transformed LaForge from a symbol into a fully realized character. In engineering, his blindness became a tool rather than a limitation. His visor allowed him to perceive things no one else could, making him uniquely capable of diagnosing the ship's problems or noticing anomalies in space. He wasn't just along for the ride, he was indispensable to the Enterprise's survival. Why this change mattered. Moving Geordi into engineering made him more than just a what-if character. It gave him agency, expertise, and authority. He wasn't a novelty. He was a genius. Audiences got to see him as a leader, guiding his team and making tough calls. We also got one of the best friendships in Star Trek, the bond between Geordi and Data. Had Geordi remained at the helm, it's doubtful that his relationship with Data would have become the iconic partnership it did. Their constant collaboration in engineering gave us countless memorable moments. Technobabble-laden problem-solving, quiet philosophical conversations, and even episodes centered on their friendship. Data may have been the android exploring humanity, but Geordi was the human who taught him what friendship, loyalty, and trust truly looked like. On a storytelling level, Geordi's new role also added variety to TNG. Whereas the original series had Scotty as its resident miracle worker, TNG had LaForge, a younger and more hands-on engineer who represented a new generation of problem solvers. This gave the show a fresh dynamic and further separated it from simply copying the template of TOS. The best of both worlds. What makes Geordi's journey fascinating is that Roddenberry's original idea wasn't discarded completely. His blindness and visor remained central to his identity, a constant reminder of Roddenberry's vision of inclusivity. But instead of being the only thing defining him, it became one tool in a larger arsenal. In this way, Geordi is the perfect example of how Star Trek evolves. Roddenberry planted the seed of a groundbreaking character, but the show's evolution allowed him to grow beyond the confines of a single concept. LaForge embodies both the utopian ideals of Roddenberry's vision and the practical storytelling needs of a long-running TV series.